Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. When it comes to new roofs, you can either be proactive or you can take your chances. If you put on a new roof, well, you're protecting your home and your family and your belongings. If you take your chances, a storm may damage your roof, may damage your stuff, and your insurance company may pay for that roof after they fight you forever on it. Be proactive. Call Daniel Hood Roofing today. They've got operators standing by. Call them this week or visit them, danielhoodroofing.com. And when you visit that website, you're going to see testimonial after testimonial after testimonial from people who have gotten their roofs from Daniel Hood Roofing. All right, our crew behind the scenes have overcome the equipment. Way to go. Chris Lane and the crew here are fantastic. They're having to take sticks and push them together to start fire, and I appreciate it. They got the graphics up and running. This is what Kentucky did against Ole Miss earlier this year. What you see there is Ole Miss's season averages for their offense on the left. On the right are what they did against Kentucky, and all you need to know is they're all lower against Kentucky. And the averages would have been higher if you take the Kentucky game out. Now, the reason I point that out is if you've got an offense that's somewhat similar to Tennessee's in this league, it's Ole Miss. So Kentucky did have some success slowing down Ole Miss. The other thing I wanted to show you, this is interesting, Will Levis. He is 15-4 as Kentucky's quarterback. But Mark Stoops has only let him throw 25 or more times in 9 of his 19 games. They don't want him throwing a lot. But Kentucky is 8-1 when he passes for more than 300 yards. 6-1 when he throws for more than 250, 5-1 when he throws for 230, only 7-3 when they throw for less than 230. The one loss in all those big games, he threw for more than 230 against Tennessee last year, and that was his only loss. But here's the thing, the numbers suggest let that kid throw it. He's supposedly a first-round prospect. Mark Stoops, he doesn't want to throw it. He wants to run the Dean Smith offense in basketball on a football field. They snap it once every 30 seconds, slowest in the league. Tennessee snaps it once every 20 seconds. So my question, gentlemen, what should, and don't email me that you're pulling for Kentucky. That's not the case. We can tell you what Tennessee's game plan is. It's the same every week. It's go fast and score points.
Baby.
But what the other guy does to try and stop that, that's my question. What's the game plan if you're setting up for Kentucky this week? What should Mark Stoops be doing against Tennessee? Ball control the way he's done it in the past, open it up the way he made it a game of it last year. What's the plan to try and upend this team?
I'll start with Kentucky's offense, and I think offensively you want to make it ugly. You brought the stats up there, showed those, but you want to make it an ugly game. You want to try to possess the ball. I think the more that your offense is on the field, the less Hendon Hooker's on the field, and that's an advantage for you in the game. That's an advantage for taking the home crowd out of it. Much easier said than done, but I don't think it's necessarily take the ball out of Will Levis's hands. I'm aiming to make it 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And I'm trying to convert those third downs to extend drives and maintain the time of possession.
46 minutes to 13 minutes and something last year. They owned it, but an interception return was a key, and Tennessee in their 13 minutes kept getting big plays. That's the danger of, but they still came close.
In some unexpected moments, I think you want to try to design some shots off of your run action so that you can try to take the last third or the last half of the field out of it. Again, easier said than done, but that's also going to minimize your chance of turnover.
You see, if I'm Kentucky, I want to know if Will Levis is 100%, because he's been battling that ankle injury. He lost some time because of that. If a running quarterback is kind of hobbled, that's not helping them any. And if I'm Kentucky, I'm looking at making a shot play early. I've seen Tennessee's MO. They jump on somebody, they get up 2 scores, 3 scores. For Kentucky to hang, I think they've got to jump out and score early, like when Garantano threw back-to-back pick sixes. I think Kentucky's got to do something early.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Back in 2011, Kentucky did exactly what you said. They made it ugly. Came out with a wide receiver at quarterback and ran triple option, I want to say, and slowed the game all the way down.
We lost to that team.
Yeah.
Tennessee's offense was ugly, too.
Yeah, Tennessee's offense was ugly.
Roark, wasn't it? Matt Roark, was that the?
Oh, I'm thinking of Lynn Bowden.
We had Tyler Bray and I want to say Justin Hunter, all those kind of guys. We had some explosive offensive pieces.
Some of those guys weren't interested in going to the bowl game that year.
I'm going to leave that part off. Me and Hood will fight about that later. But I would say do that. But our defensive line is really, really good versus the run. So I would tell you, I don't see Kentucky beating us in a shootout unless they're going to let Will Levis throw the ball 40-something times to try to keep up with us.
Their running back, Rodriguez, is one of their best players.
Right.
Yet they rank near the bottom of the SEC in their run game. They are not a good run team this year.
That's it.
Doesn't bode well for them. Jimmy.
I'm going to probably go with more of what Justin said as far as what I'm doing.
Well, that's what the smart people do.
Yeah.
Go with the coach's take.
Look, Levis threw for, what, 372 last year, something like that, and you still lost.
Yeah.
I think you've got to keep Tennessee's offense off the field as best you can. And I think Chris Rodriguez is going to have 30 carries and Will Levis 20. I'm trying to run it. I'm trying to convert short yardage. I'm trying to run 6-8 minutes off that clock to keep Tennessee off the field, and then maybe Tennessee gets a little frustrated. Now, I got to stop them on third down if I'm going to beat them. But that's what I would do if I'm Kentucky. I'm trying to if Tennessee had it for 14 minutes last year, I want them to have it for 13 this year.
A couple of other stats here that I thought were interesting. Tennessee is the best in the SEC at preventing tackles for loss. Speaks to that offensive line. Nobody's had fewer tackles for loss allowed than Tennessee. Kentucky dead last in forcing tackles for loss, so that bodes well for Tennessee. Tennessee has allowed, and this is the other side of it, Tennessee has allowed 30 trips into the red zone this year. Kentucky, that might have been, I may need to, maybe more than that after yesterday, but at least 30. It was late at night. I'm not sure if I had it in yesterday's game or not. Kentucky has only allowed 14 red zone trips all year.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then the last thing, always key, Tennessee +5 in turnovers on the year. Yeah. Kentucky -4.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. All right. When we come back, we're going to rank where Tennessee stands in the SEC. We're going to play a little Will They, Won't They? And then we're going to do the setting of the line. Chuck Cavaleris is going to put on the green visor and start making his predictions, and we'll see if anybody on the panel can get it right this week. That's what we're going to do. Next, let's talk about Will They, Won't They, and ranking the SEC. Yeah, that's it. Come on back on the Sports Horse.